Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening based on your time zones. Welcome to ZV Salesforce. Today in this episode, we are going to learn about getters and setters in LWC. So let's get started. In order to save some time, I have already created one LWC component named explore getters and setter. So let's have a look into this component. This HTML file, I have just defined a lightning card tag, okay, that has a title, and I have declared two lightning input tags with the labels enter first name and enter last name, and those lightning input tags have a on change handlers, like if there is any change on the value added on the lightning input, that will be captured, or that will be handled by those on change methods. Those are capture fname and capture lname respectively. And there is a div tag where I am trying to show the full name. Full name is, we have declared a property full name. To this full name property, we'll be declaring getters and setters in the JavaScript file explore getters and setters.html. And we have a paragraph tag where we are showing a footer like getter and setter demo. So let's have a look into our JavaScript file. If you here, we have imported lighting element, that is the standard import that needs to be done for every LWC component, and we have imported a show toast event. I will come to this in the latter parts. That being imported from lightning slash platform show toast event module. And if you see here, we have declared one private property like output value and fname, lname. And on the HTML side, enter fname, enter your full name. On change handler for that is capture fname, and if you see in the capture fname, we are trying to assign what is the value that is being tagged in the lightning input, that is event dot target dot value that we are setting into fname. And to that full name, what we are trying to set is first name, like what is the value that is being captured in the f name plus space plus a last name. Same goes with capture lname method. We are storing in the lname what is the value that is being entered in the enter the last name input field, and we are trying to add that to the full name. To that, we have declared a getter, get full name. Getter can be declared with the same syntax, get followed by the variable name that you want to refer on the HTML. And setter will be defined with set full name of value. Okay, now, and we have a show toast event. I have already, we have declared another method like show toast event. And this show toast event takes three parameters: title, message, and variant. And we have already imported show toast event from platform show toast event that is being used, like we are firing the show toast event, and that show toast event will be fired if the first name is greater than if any of the first name and the last name is greater than 10 characters, that will be fired. That shortest event will be fired. This error will be. If you try to assign any value to this full name at the first instance, when the component is being rendered on the UI, getter will be invoked. Like when you try to assign any value to this fill name, then the setter will be invoked. I will show you on UI as well. Let me try to do a hard reload on this component. Notice clearly here, when the full name is being referenced in the HTML file, you will see it will give a call to getter. See, full name is currently that full name variable is not holding any value, but as we are referencing it in the HTML and getter is being called at the first time. Then at this instance, we are trying to set value to the full name. Like in the first name method, we are trying to set value, and in the last name method also, in the last name handler also, we are trying to set value to the full name. That's why when I try to type any value like this, see getter is setter is getting invoked, and at the same time, getter is also getting invoked. why setter is getting invoked because we are trying to set some value into the full name. Why getter is getting invoked is that is being referenced on the HTML. That means full name is getting appended on the HTML, right? That's why mm, getter and setter are getting invoked simultaneously. And if you go to the code or the logic that we have written in the full name tag, full name set full name method. Here I have declared if condition when both first name and last name are defined, then on defined, then we are going into this if condition and we are checking on the lengths. If first name length is greater than 10, we are trying to throw an error to the end user. If in the same way, if the last name is greater than 10 characters, we are uh, throwing an error to the end user. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to make it to uppercase. If I try to make it more than 10 characters, see, it is throwing error. First name cannot be more than 10 characters. Like it is a good practice. Like getters and setters can be interchangeable. Like you can do the same logic, the length logic that we are doing here in the setter that can be done in getter as well. But it is a good practice to do uh, all the validations and all the logics in the setter and getter binds an object property to a function that will be called when that property is looked up. We have already seen like when that full name property is being rendered onto the UI, then that getter gets called setter. Setter is called when we are trying to set value to that full name. Like here in our case to that full name we are trying to set when there is any change on first name or when there is any change on last name. That is the point when setter gets invoked. Getter will gets invoked when the property that we are referring is being rendered and used on the UI. To execute logic each time public property is set, write a custom setter. Yes. See, another use of these getters and setters is consider there are two components. One is parent component and one is child component. When you are trying to send some data from the parent component to the child component, say in our last video we have seen like from the parent component we are sending a message like a string value message with a property message from parent component to the child component. If you want to execute the logic each time, like when a message is being received from the parent component to the child component, then what you need to do is you need to write a custom setter in the child component. Like there is no need to do any changes in the parent component. You just need to define a custom setter in the child component, and that logic will be executed every time when a property from the mm, when there is any change in the property from the parent component is being sent to the child component. See, and the key point to note here is it is not mandatory to use setters and getters in the code every time, but to make our code scalable and in order to have our code to be looking clean and okay, this is all about getters and setters in LWC. This is a small session. We'll meet in the next session with another concept. Please do like, comment, share, and help me in reaching to more and more, Rohana. Thank you. Have a good day.